Welcome, flip clock fans. This is a Plato type flip clock that I discovered in very rough shape on eBay, and I took the challenge of seeing if it could be restored to a higher level of beauty. As you can see from the pictures from eBay, the clock was in rough shape. It had a broken glass cylinder, which are nearly impossible to find, and the tiles were significantly warped. This clock is a British-made clock and called the Ever Ready Chronos Clock. These days, any clock like this is called a Plato Clock. However, that's not historically accurate. The original American-made clocks were marketed as Plato clocks. It was a play on words relating to the flipping plates and had no connection to the philosopher Plato. There were many such clocks made in France, Germany, and England, and back then they were not called Plato clocks. But the name has stuck, so we'll just roll with it. It was interesting to disassemble this clock and get a better understanding of how it works. Getting the tiles in shape was an ordeal. What I did was buy some loose Plato tiles that had been sitting on eBay for some time. I wanted to use those tiles to experiment to see if they could be straightened and maybe whitened. I don't want to go into great detail here, but I tried softening them in warm water. I tried to soften them with heat. I tried whitening them with hydrogen peroxide. I tried to whiten them by placing in UV light. I tried to press them under high weight to straighten them, and finally, I simply tried to straighten them by hand. What I found was that, yes, the tiles could be whitened with hydrogen peroxide, but the celluloid seems to thin and weaken considerably. In addition, whether using water or the hydrogen peroxide, the numbers on the tiles faded and the paint weakened. It could be easily scratched off. Oh, by the way, if you want to remove the lettering, this is done easily by isopropyl alcohol, and it seemed to have no negative effect on the tiles. Since I had all those tiles, I wanted to take the opportunity to learn if they were flammable. I would never have such an opportunity in the real world. I've never had flip tiles that were extras like this, so why not? As you may know, these tiles from the 1900s were made out of celluloid, which is known to be very flammable, at times explosively so, and it certainly turned out that way. I seem to stir up a little internet controversy, anger, or disgust by this YouTube short about this. In this video, I'm shown removing a tile from this very clock and burning it. Of course, it was one of my extra tiles, but I did catch some grief about doing that. I did this for a good reason, and not just because it was fun. It's one of the first published examples of just how flammable these are. Sure, I did it in a video like that to surprise people and hopefully stir up interest in the channel. Sorry if I offended anyone, but I'm still not sorry that I burned that tile. Ultimately, I found that you can possibly manually straighten these tiles. Unfortunately, this is fraught with danger. The condition of the tile seems to vary widely and is probably related to the amount of heat they've been exposed to. You see, I found that heating the tiles not only did not soften them, it made them curl and become brittle. In one case, I was testing oven temperatures and one burst into flames. Not surprising now after my little YouTube stunt. Buying those tiles was definitely worth it. I have wasted quite a few of them. There's no other way I would have known how to deal with these tiles and what worked and what didn't work. The bottom line, trying to straighten these tiles may not be worth it. Some of the test tiles snapped when I was practicing. While I do have some extra tiles now, finding replacements may prove to be impossible in the future. That being said, I turned out to have a good fortune with this clock and improved their shape considerably. But it was nerve-wracking. This clock's finish was in very good shape, and I was able to clean it up fine with soap and water, some prelim metal burnisher, and I've protected it by using Renaissance polish. The cylinder I replaced by buying an old Plato clock. I wanted an original glass cylinder, and while not cheap, it was worth it to get this clock back to its higher level of beauty. There it is, the British-made nickel-plated Ever Ready Chronos Clock. It's a real beauty. Hope this helps someone. Thanks for taking the time.